All right, thank you for staying with us. It's time for us to move on sports tonight. Before we get talking, and then I introduce to you Cosmos Chukwuemeka. You meet them on the show tonight, and Yemi Adebayo. Let me just touch up very quickly on an issue of interest and an issue that I think we also need to highlight on the show tonight. Yesterday on this show, respected football historian Kayode Tijani was on Sports Tonight, and he came essentially to celebrate Muda Lawal, who passed on 24 years ago. And one of the things that Kayode Tijani highlighted on the show is that the final resting place of Muda Lawal has been overtaken with weeds and was looking more like a dump site. But I think we have good news for you. That's the picture of where Muda Lawal, Agbolu Aje Babatunde, Muda Shiru, Agbolu Aje Babatunde Lawal. That's what it looks like, his final resting place. And we talked about it extensively yesterday, that it wasn't looking good enough for someone who was a legend of the game, who as far back as 1984 had played 5 Nations Cup tournaments for Nigeria. And we felt we should be doing a lot better than we're doing for him. But the good news is that after our show yesterday, it got the attention of the right people. Prominent sons of Egbaland, we are told the Alake of Egbaland and a few other prominent sons of Egbaland rose up to the challenge, and they have ordered that that place be beautified and be made into some kind of tourist center in the honor of the late Mudashiru Lawal. All right? And of course, all of this happened in conjunction with the Ogun State Football Association, led by Chief Majakodumi. So that's the good news coming through, that the Ogun State Football Association and prominent sons of Egbaland have responded to the call we made on the show yesterday, and they said they will beautify that place and make it something a lot more attractive, so that when people talk about Mudashiru, Agbolu Aje Babatunde Lawal, and all he did for Nigeria, they will be proud to show his final resting place. And I think that's a good way to start the show off tonight. It means sometimes all that we're doing here gets to the right people, and they do the right thing, they take the right action, and they correct some of the mistakes that we talk about. All right, so that's a good one. We commend once again the Ogun State Football Association and the prominent sons of Egbaland who have responded and they decided to do something for Mudashiru Lawal. All right, guys, this is Cosmos Chukwuemeka, my immediate right, and the guy to my far right, in case you do not know or you are watching for the first time, that's the guy we call Gentleman Yemi Adebayo. Guys, welcome to Sports Tonight.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Tony. It's good to be back on the show.
All right. You had the issues.
Yeah.
So what a lot of people are already reacting on Twitter expectedly, and we'll be reading a few of your comments in the next few minutes. But let me get your thoughts right here. We're looking for a coach, and the NFF do not want to dilly-dally. We want to just go quickly, get someone, and move on.
Yeah, basically, I think the Nigerian Football Federation are on the right track, in the sense that they are going for the man that they want, or we hear that they want. I mean, they're not dilly-dallying. It's not about, okay, maybe after the qualifiers or giving it a time frame or something. That is when they will start looking for a coach. They are wanting to get a coach immediately. So I think it's a good one. But then for the person that they want to get, Sunday Oliseh, one of the best players, a legend of the game.
Former captain of the
Super Eagles of Nigeria, won gold in Tunisia 94, won silver in Ghana, Nigeria 2000, Mali 2002, won bronze as well. You know, probably the best defensive midfielder that Nigeria has ever had. And of course, the fact that he's one of the best footballers in the world that has a great and in-depth knowledge of the game. For me, I don't know, because he has never coached before. Yeah, good coach. He actually coached a youth team.
We have not finished. He has the highest coaching badge in football
but
at the moment.
He doesn't have an experience in coaching. has he coached any big side?
Wow.
That is a question we should ask.
Is that a factor?
Well, it is not a factor.
Hold on. Did you ask if Van Basten had coached any youth team before when he suddenly became coach of Holland? Did you ask?
Was actually in the Ajax youth.
Did you ask if Clarence Seedorf had coached any team before they suddenly made him coach of AC Milan? Did you ask
look at where he went to?
People Inzaghi, you could walk.
You could say you're a Klinsmann.
Well, you know, sitting back and listening to both of you, it's actually interesting. You can't sit down here and judge the man. It would be unfair. But as to throwing it in, he was a very good footballer, you can boldly say that good footballers don't necessarily. Case in point for me, Tony Adams.
Exactly.
Somebody I respect so much as a footballer. I mean, it's similar to the picture that Cosmos has just painted about Sunday Oliseh. He got his opportunity so many occasions and he fluffed it.
Exactly.
So my point is, like you're saying, it's, you know, it's like walking on eggshells. It's going to cry. It could go, either walk, it could walk, and it could blow up in your face. But we're in a situation where...
Is it worth the chance? You mean, is it worth the chance? You guys are...
You're putting me on the spot. I actually wanted to comment about the NFF. I don't think they are swift. If you create problems, you have to solve it. They are actually sitting on fire. So they have to do something.
Exactly.
So I won't be sitting
What fire
here.
are they sitting on? The termination of Stephen Keshi?
No, not even the personalities involved.
Okay.
You have a situation where you need to get your plans on track. You didn't qualify for the last Nations Cup.
You have to qualify.
You have a coach.
Exactly.
I don't know, whatever you were thinking before you appointed him, and you decided some few months to the crucial encounter to sack him. That's a problem that you created, and I'm not surprised that they are moving as fast as they can to solve that problem. As to whether Sunday Oliseh deserves the chance, you can't argue with the fact that he deserves it. And it's not easy for anyone to sit down and say whether or not he will fail or he will succeed. Only time. But do we have that time is another question.
Exactly, that's it. That's the thing I wanted to say, the time. Because you look at the fact that...
Do we have the luxury of waiting to see him fail or succeed? If he succeeds, fine. If he fails, it's going to leave a bitter taste. I mean, we're already talking about apathy. A lot of people, 70% of the people, of the football watching population, prefer to watch something else than to see our national team because of the heartbreak. And you can't blame them because it seems like the administrators are toying with people's emotions. But, you know, case in point, maybe you talk about Luis Enrique, Pep Guardiola, some guys who, you know, this kind of excuses about whether or not they have the experience came into it and they got the job, they did it. And there are also many players turned coaches that, you know, got the opportunity.
You mentioned the story.
Let me come to you. Let me come to you, Cosmos.
Right.
Is this worth the chance? You see, there's something that we talked about on the show yesterday, which I think should be our guiding policy on this program. Before the NFF do anything, you know, before they do anything, let's break it down critically, analyze for or against, and stretch it as much as we can.
As objective as possible.
As objective as we can.
Okay.
But once we know what they are doing, or appointing a coach or all of that, it becomes our responsibility to get behind such a decision and support
in the interest of Nigeria.
In the bigger interest of Nigeria.
But that does not mean we will not have our reservations.
Yeah, but once, of course, we'll have our reservations, but once this man gets down to work, or we have an idea of what the direction is that the NFF want to take, we can do our own little bit of, look, watch out for this before you take a decision. That's why I'm asking you, is this worth the chance? Do we, okay, the issues are a lot.
Okay.
We have told the coach to go. We have put Salisu Yusuf and the technical department in charge.
Director.
A lot of people are arguing, do we go for a foreign coach? Some are saying, no, let's bring a Nigerian coach and all of that. Okay. Now we want to try out. Is this worth the try? That's the issue.
Well, it is, but then you have to look at some of those factors that militated against the past 3 coaches of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Let's start from Samson Siasia.
Okay.
There were factors. Now, those factors were the things that really made him to be
Factors
duped.
like?
Factors like how he will be able to manage the ego of the players. Factors of how he's going to be able to relate with the administrators, especially those ones that he can relate with directly. I'm talking about those in the technical committee. And again, there's a football director. Now, factors of the kind of football philosophy we have in this country. Are we going to play a tiki-taka kind of football?